Welcome to the S.H.O.P, the social hub of positivity. We are in the shop. I don't know what camera I'm looking at. I am looking at that camera. Great, these phones, aren't they? Magda, just bang away in the background, see if that works for an interview. That's Magda, everyone. It's bless her. She has actually put up the exhibition. We are in the shop. We are literally in the shop, because sometimes we're not in the shop, but I'm very proud to say we have two wonderful artists. I'd say new artists, in a way, aren't you? What did you say? I don't want to say you're old artists, because that's not kind, is it?
We're old new artists.
But is this the first exhibition that you've had?
No one's
Right.
seen any of our stuff.
There you go. So that's what I mean. New to the world, new to out of the attic, new to out of your bedrooms or wherever you do it, which is kind of what this place is about. But I don't know that we've had so many two artists that are that prolific, because you've got a whole range of subject matter, which I think is fascinating in itself. So you haven't just stuck to one. If you looked at most of my art, mine is flowers. And as much as I try and tell you that that's really quite deep and symbolic, they are just flowers. A lot of flowers going on.
That's what it means to you.
Well, it does. But this is what's interesting for me, because you have got subject matter ranging from the sort of still life, you've got scenic stuff. You've also got, you've got the beautiful E-type Jags and stuff, and faces. All sorts of stuff going on. Anyway, let me introduce you properly. This is the wonderful Kim and Ian Holloway. Do you ever get called Ollieway?
No, just Ollie.
Ollie, you get called.
I know, normally a lot worse.
I was going to say.
Particularly by Kim.
Yeah. I might get called Mrs. H a lot.
Well, you're here in your own right, which I think is fascinating. You're a
First time for, honestly, she's a bit nervous, aren't you?
Excited, I'd say.
Yeah. I'm excited because this is the first time I've seen the whole exhibition up. There's a lot of work and a lot of brilliant work, and it's a shame that your son owns that one.
Yeah.
I love it.
That was for the tattoo that he
He was very reluctant to hand it over this morning.
I'm not surprised.
Get it, he went,
Yeah.
So you can have it back, don't worry.
He was, honestly, for him, he was fuming. You could tell.
Yeah. But you've also got Chloe's work. So let's go back to the start. So it's Kim, Ian, and a little kid trying to get into the shop. You think, he comes and plays music. He thinks he can come in. He can't. You've got a bouncer on the door. That's from Mother Care. Tell me this. When did you both start doing this art? When was your first sort of foray into art in a serious way?
Well, you from school.
It was me, really. You got all my school stuff. I kept everything I've ever done. Didn't throw it away because I had terrible problems with did I like it or not.
Yeah.
So when I met Kim in school. She went, "Oh no, you got to keep that. Just put it all in your folder." So literally, it's all there. Some of my art exam work's there. But I like drawing really. It's only Kim's adventure into colour.
Yeah.
And we started doing this back here when I first went to Blackpool.
Yeah.
We met a fella.
So 2009.
2009. And I met a fellow who said, "I'll teach you how to paint, lad." He's from up north. "I'll teach you how to paint." And
he was a local artist, wasn't he? Yeah. He used to put his work all in the pubs and shops wherever we went. So
Peter Riley, isn't he?
Yeah.
Life of, we call it.
Life of Riley. Is this stuff available? It'd be interesting has he got a website or anything?
I wouldn't have thought.
I don't think.
Well, we'll have a little inquiry.
What we'll do, we'll get some of his stuff because he's a wonderful fella.
Yeah, that's it. Because part of the process, the whole thing about the shop, whether it's actually physically in a shop or it's that coming together of the community, this came about because of COVID. Dorothy Perkins was here before. She's gone. She'd be impressed if she was back here. She'd go, "Oh, it's better than the
Dotty P,
isn't it?" Yeah, Dotty. But lots of people we found the art that's generally in the shop, the craft, has come from people starting it for the first time during COVID. Okay. Now, if that was the intention of COVID, it was a good idea. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm sure, as you know, we run we call it a complementary education program. We've now got as many young people waiting on that as we've got that we work with, and it's just unfortunately expanded mental health. Young people towards school, being in crowded places, etc., and list of stuff goes on and on. But the upside is lots of people have found a creativity, which kind of in my head thinks, well, it's stuck there in everyone. What brought it out of you? Now you say you did it at school. So what was the kind of, oh yeah, let's go back to this, or let's pursue it again?
Yeah, it was just having a different string to my bow. I mean, I did football for years and years and years, and you need a release from it, you know.
Yeah.
And your kids aren't really that, are they? We had 4 young kids. That was just bedlam. You need. I think we all need something else to.
We're in a different phase of our life.
To just
us again.
Take your thoughts somewhere else.
Yeah.
And we both like it.
Yeah, we both like art. We used to go to like galleries, museums. We just love art anyway.
Yeah.
So when we saw Pete doing his thing up in Barley in Lancashire, I said, yeah, I'll teach you. And then after the second lesson, he said, get away with you. You don't need me, just go and paint.
Yeah,
that's right.
So it's just keep doing it, isn't it? And having access, which is why we have workshops here. We've got these great artists, Magda and all, and then you get to do a workshop every now and again with them. I think that's good, and then you realise, oh yeah, okay, and a few hints, and then you're off.
We do it with our grandchildren all the time. We let them paint in our front room. You know? We've both got an easel in our front room now.
Right.
It's something that I need to paint, and you'll have a go, and you know, you might have something that's inspired you. You know, Kim takes photos of
anything I like,
bang, and then she'll go and do her version of it, which is incredible. But for us, it's just a freedom, and so, you know, we tried to play golf together. It was embarrassing. She was down the middle. She never played. I'm terrible.
Really?
Yeah. I should be used to it, shouldn't I? I got very good at it.
I just abandoned you in the end, didn't I? A few times.
I had to bring her clubs back in because she just, you're useless and I'm going. And she left her clubs and I had to bring 2 lots. And everybody knew. You know what I mean? And golfers don't like it if there's rows going on, but I deserved to be left there, didn't I really? I left with 7 irons stuck in the fairway. I was that mad. But
shouldn't laugh, really.
No, you shouldn't.
So
no.
art is a little bit more relaxing for you, but you still get a little bit frustrated.
No, I have this thing where I'm so competitive, even if it don't look like I want it to look, which is exactly what I'm copying, then I get a bit silly sometimes, and I'm trying to get out of it. But you know what I don't do now is I realise I can change it. So I've been trying to do this lovely little fella who lost his life for his mum. We went to Sunderland the other day, and Bradley Lowry. There was a beautiful photo of him, and I'm trying to do it. And honestly, I must have done his head 5 times. Yeah. And it's still, and I know I want to get it right. And this is the boss. She'll let me know if I have, but I will keep going until I do it. You don't want that because you know she's sat on the fence. I'd rather that or that. And I never believe that anyway. But the thing is to find something that we can do together. And what I love about it is that you're in it and you don't realise the time's just ticking away. And before you know it, you've been sat staring at this for 6 hours and like, where did that go? But what we like is to critique each other's and be honest. What she sees, the colours she sees is quite incredible. Like the other day I was really struggling with it. She went, oh, you got no green in that. And I'm thinking that's either a little bit more black to make it a bit more grey, and she went, no, there's a hint of green in that. And so I came back and I went, my God. I added a touch of green into what I was doing, and it just and you do this
bit of alchemy.
Purple, and you know, you got to look around at her stuff. But what pleased me was my life's nearly always been about me. When we came up here and Kim had her stuff on the wall, it was like, it's all in our house. We had a beautiful house. And it was all up the staircase, and I was so proud of it. Everybody was talking about, oh, look at this, who's done it? I said, Kim done that, and blah, blah, blah. And for you to see all your work up here, it was quite a shock, wasn't it? You really felt quite good.
Oh, I like that. Oh my God, it's from afar. Oh, that looks
interesting. No, I can get that.
To see it in a different environment instead of just like, you know, in your own house or in the attic
or not see it at all because you do it and put it away, which is in itself which is kind of why this place works, I guess, because
somewhere to show it, somewhere
to show it, but people wander in here because of course it's in you know, Emery Gate shopping centre for anyone who wants to visit, and I highly suggest you do. That you can wander in and all of a sudden you're surrounded by art and you can't even think why. It doesn't really say what it is outside. It says can do art somewhere, but it's not really.
That's what we did.
Yes, but here's So, and that's happened with lots of people. So sometimes we have music playing here. often people come on, they don't talk to anyone, they come in, they open the piano, play brilliantly, and off they go. On a weekly basis, there's different people come in, and young people form bands around there. So that this environment looks like it shouldn't be what it is, but it is actually something for everyone in a really good way, in an encouraging way.
Well, we think it's quite inspiring, honestly. We just wandered in a few months ago. It was like, hang on a minute.
Yeah, we're going to get the security sorted out. There will be a new vetting system.
Well, who are you looking at, me or Kim? What are you saying?
Sorry, I just see what you brought for your nephew and thing. That could be. It's going to kick off later.
Yeah, it probably will.
The idea of also inspiring other people, and it being a kind of cathartic, because the idea about I'm very blessed to have great kids as well, and some of them do music, make film, all that sort of good stuff. And I say, look, there is no pressure. The first port of call is about you, about expressing, putting your own thoughts and emotions out of yourself. When you become to share it, whether it's in an open mic or it's in I don't care what it is, whatever forum it is that you share it. It's a strange one, Art. I even think it's strange you said you did an exam, I didn't. I was thinking, in a way, sure there's loads of technical stuff, but the pure value of art is in the doing. The sharing for me is a nice thing, and if people like it, don't like it, because one person's meat is another man's mass murder. I don't know what that means, but imagine that summit there and there. Yeah, it's like, So, trying to please other people doesn't work. Trying to think what you can do, obviously, if you're...
It is about you, isn't it? It's like our daughter Chloe. I think her artwork is like...
It's out there.
It's out there. But that is her expressing herself as a deaf person, how it feels, and turmoil.
So that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very symbolic. Now she's gone into a bit more with me. I've understood a lot more. It was going on at the time when she painted them. So.
Yeah, we found that out the other day when we were trying to write something to put on each painting. This like feeling she had doing it, but for me,
looked into COVID 1 and 2.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
Just the minute detail of how all those things interrelate.
Yeah.
Well, I've had this all my life. People think footballers are this and that, and they're great. They have so many insecurities. You know what I mean? And they are brilliant one minute, the villain the next minute, and none of them really believe they're good enough. You know, there's probably only 1 or 2 footballers I could tell you about who actually think they're great. You know?
Yeah.
The rest of them.
Well, are they great?
No,
they think they're great.
United, who was 36, he was a big one, he scored 4 against England. He sounds like Abramovich, but it's not. Ibrahimovic.
Yes.
He actually believes he is the best.
He plays like he is as well.
Yeah, he
does. He does things that only martial artists should do on a football pitch.
Most of us,
we
have the ability to shine at something, but we don't believe we do, and we don't like what we've just done. So I believe there's a myriad of artists out there who don't like what they've just done and never show anyone.
Yes.
And this place is a godsend because this is what it's about.
That's it. Yeah.
Show somebody your work. It's what do they think?
Yeah.
You're being judged really.
Yeah.
And that's another difficult thing for you, isn't it? Because you're judged on results.
I've always been
judged on your art, and that's why you're so critical.
Yeah. What I'm trying to get at is I don't want anybody just not showing what they've done because they don't particularly like it. You'll be amazed how good it is when you get what other people think. Do you see what I mean? And I think Can Do is such a brilliant name. Can Do. I can do that. If it was Can't Do, I wouldn't have come in. Imagine that. I've got a great name for us. Can't Do.
Can't do that. I'll see you next week. Maybe I'll try. Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. And it actually originated from Kathmandu. So the idea of Everest being literally the biggest obstacle, so to say, or the biggest, I don't know what you call it, challenge and that you'd overcome it. Yeah. So literally, and the idea of bringing art to places you'd least expect it, because I come from quite an interesting, not interesting at all, I didn't write a book about it, but kind of not your straightforward, Irish immigrant, poverty, all that sort of good stuff. Well, I don't know if it's good stuff, but Dad joined the forces, he was an ex-coal miner, and thought, I'd rather get shot than go down a mine. So to tell you how hard it is down a mine. Yeah. So we kind of went here, there and everywhere, and I only got into the arts really just by the skin of my teeth, because where I was going wasn't an art gallery, wasn't drama college, it was definitely the old Borstalls. In fact, that was the only sort of future at one stage, and then it was kind of the life started to make a little bit a different sort of sense when I started exploring stuff through drama, then music, art, what have you. And it's, to be fair, and that's why we use all the different arts, but the idea of accessing it, it's bizarre that this has come about, because it's exactly what I intended it to be years ago. When I started the idea 26 years ago, was so if kids can't afford it and they wouldn't naturally have it in there. You can go to music lessons, you can go to this, you can go to that. Sport as well. I think football's my particular passion, but I love all sorts of, I'm sure you like yourself, it's one of them ones, isn't it? You kind of can admire other people's endeavours and see, the 10,000 hours they must have put into being good at that. But encapsulating all those things, but making it accessible, and that's the bit. So this is even better.
That's the hardest bit, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's why it's lovely having you on board, because here's the crack. We get loads of kiddies through football who end up doing films, and they can't even work out how they ended up doing films. You still showing that film? Oh yeah, we show it all the time. It's now on our YouTube channel. And I'm like, I like that. Yeah, but if you'd have just met them, or where we met them when they were in trouble with the police, or this, that, and the other, and you said, what about doing this? Come and do a film. They'd probably be, what? The jump sometimes is too much. But when you're playing football in them every week, and we should use the ball really, but they like being kicked. That's a joke for all the social services out there. No. I'm only joking. No. I'm still playing with them though every week on Tuesdays. Unbelievable, I love it. Yeah. Absolutely. But
I bet it's the energy you're getting from them. Yeah. Because a lot of people don't have someone that they know loves them and cares about them. Yeah. So to have a place that will inspire them.
Yeah. That's it.
Is
a lot of
really
them in care. A lot of the kids we work with are in care.
Yeah.
So there's no rocket science involved there, isn't it? You're saying, well, okay, if you look at your own parentage, your own family histories, we've had a chat about how you got together and all this sort of good stuff. That kid's not happy about it, but everyone else is.
We should get him in here.
We will. He's probably a Spurs supporter. Me and him crying together. But it's that kind of it. Do you know Albert Camus was this French philosopher, French Algerian, I think. And I wear a T-shirt that Donna, one of the partners, got, and it says essentially you can tell a lot about a person, about how football allows you to see the nature of somebody, how they play the game, is kind of defines them, and what you're going back to people that are really confident or not confident. Or the position they play, or how they interact in a team. A team player, and then the individual, can translate across to how they are in real life. Now, I don't know about, maybe it's the same for rugby, maybe it's the same for all those other sports, but as a team sport, football just happens to be, I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's the most popular sport on the planet. Which makes your bit even more impressive, by the way, because look at your own history. It's not many people have done that ever, played and managed teams in the Premiership. So the gateway for loads of the kiddies that we would work with would be, what? He's a football player, and he does art. Makes it really accessible. It makes it acceptable in a way that sometimes backgrounds don't promote.
I don't think I'd have been a football player if I wouldn't have had something to fall back on that I really liked as well. The two things I liked at school, and really probably because of the teachers. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
The art teacher at school was brilliant.
Yeah.
And the PE teacher at school really loved it, and he was fit, and he played with my dad on a Sunday morning. So
wow.
I loved those two subjects, and that's followed me all my life. You know? But without going into the art and doing what I did with that, I don't believe I wouldn't have had a respite from the football side of things. And when someone does look at something that I've done and I'm not too happy with it myself, and they go, oh my God, I love that. There's only one I like, and that's the one I gave to my son now, the one that you like.
Yeah,
that's the only one. That's the only one. The rest of mine,
where's
I'm
his
not
shop?
happy with.
we can publicise it.
But the wonderful thing about it is, we do it in a motorhome or our camper van.
Yeah.
And if I'm stuck with it, Kim will go, look, just because I fiddle with it, and she goes, look, come back, look, what? And I got this thing with our grandkids. If they get covered,
messy,
I get all weird. I used to hate getting like muddy and wet outside. I used to hate
weird when you're out of football.
I know.
Covered in mud.
But literally, I would get stuck in, but I would try and not do that, straight through the puddle and all that.
Yeah.
But now she would go, hang on a minute. There was one we've done together here, and it was like she just put all the black on. I took ages doing the sky, and she went whack, 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 whack. And when I went, oh my God.
Yeah.
So I need to be freed up, and I think we have that. A lot of us have got pent up stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, oh God, and then we can't express it. And if it's not, just pick up. And a lot of people don't pick up a guitar because they don't think they're good enough, and they don't do it. You just have a go. And see what it gives you. And if it don't give you what you want, try something else. I got a saxophone at home. I still can't play it, but I know one day I'm gonna try.
You should bring it in here. Towards the end of the day, so we.
Well, that was my biggest problem. My 3 deaf daughters, it's Christmas, said, Dad, go outside, that's awful. Right? Go outside.
The vibration.
You're awful.
Because they can pick up really low vibrational tones with their hearing aids on.
And I think that was my lowest moment. My deaf daughters told me.
Is you wouldn't just go in a room on your own and do it. He would follow you around the house.
You see.
No, I like doing that.
Of course.
But you like an audience, don't you?
Yeah.
And instead of just going, let it be quiet, or do your thing in the corner, it's like, go do your thing.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Don't matter.
Look at me.
Yeah. Lisa Simpson.
Yeah.
We've got a studio at Can Do. Maybe you come and do a jam in there. I'm serious.
I need someone, because I can't.
No, with people.
But I need someone that helps.
Yeah. I know a very good.
The first 3 weeks I couldn't get a note out of it.
Yeah.
I got it on Christmas. My sister was coming, and when I got a note out of it, I thought, oh wow.
We know a very good saxophone player. In fact, we 2 actually. We should set you up just because it's that approach, isn't it? Sometimes, and that's good about having mentors that allow you, without necessarily going too technical or too deep on anything, they just give you a little hint, and that little hint, you have a breakthrough, and before you know it, you're playing blues, whether you want to or not.
In the shed, on your own.
In the shed, on your own, soundproofed, no one around. Fair enough.
No, when you're able, you'll be fine to do as a whole.
You've also written a book, haven't you? How to be a football manager.
Yeah.
Have you written a book, How to Manage a Football Manager?
Not yet.
No,
Because that's the next book. It's got to be. It's got to be. There is. We're very fortunate to have met yourselves, Steve Perriman, and obviously he's a Spurs boy, absolute hero, and his wife called Kim. Yeah. Now I've looked on the chart, and apparently you have to be called Kim to be married to a good football player. Well, I'm just thinking that there's so much in the idea. I love the fact that you said you did a piece together, because it's like, wow, that's not just about the individual. It's good that if you could have separate hobbies, couldn't you?
Yeah,
you could have completely separate hobbies, that you have a mutual one, that you combine and you collaborate is a metaphor for the whole thing, isn't it? For the whole of relationships.
Really? That's what you want?
Generally, I just take over your stuff that you don't like. Or
and then you make it look a lot better, basically.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, what gets me is at home, if I'm trying and I move something, it still don't look right. She'll come in and go back. You know, it might be an ashtray, or it might be a flower, it might be something. She'll just go, and it looks perfect. Why can't I do that? Don't make sense.
Wow.
But then isn't it good being in a partnership?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you need any marriage guidance, come down to the shop, man. We'll have a little talk about your art. Nah, man, don't do that. Get and do some art. But it's not a bad suggestion, is it?
Bad place to start.
Right. Tell you what I'd love to do one day, soon, is interview you separately about that book.
Yeah.
Yeah? Because this is all about the art today, and I want to focus, and everyone to come down. So Maya, you're going to do some, you've done all the shots actually, loads of the art, haven't you? That we can put on as a little sneak on this thing, a sneak preview of the exhibition, but we will I would like to get you back in specifically to talk about football because it will mean a lot to loads of kids that we work with.
Yeah.
It would mean a lot specifically. The fact that we'll still talk about this in that, because I love the combination. It's very, very rarely. I mean, the football players I've met, their second passion is normally golf, which is ironic, isn't it? Although Pat Nevin, he was always into art, wasn't he? Pat Nevin.
Is it Pat Nevin?
Yeah.
I know a cricketer, right?
I don't know if he was an artist, but he was into art.
But he, what's his name?
Was it Jack Russell?
Jack Russell is brilliant. He's got his own
Painter.
And there's Cody. I think there's somebody.
Was he a Wolves player?
Yeah, he's played for Stoke and Wolves.
He's a very
Not
good
Connor
artist.
Cody. There's another one. He's absolutely superb. I'll have to look him up.
Yeah.
But
It's important though, isn't it?
absolutely.
And people never associate the two. This is what's impressive. I love
It's
it.
a shock because when he shows them something that they've done, they go, what?
You're
Yeah.
right.
Because they don't just can't get their head around you doing that.
Yeah. I think it's because they, if they know anything, that to be an elite sports person, everything gets stuck into it. You have to, don't you? How would you get that high up in it? So that's it. They just think, well, you couldn't possibly.
My favourite thing really is what if you've got something and somebody likes it and then you give it them.
Yeah.
And I got a great painter and decorator friend, Big Lee, and he's a mad Liverpool fan. So I did something of Jurgen Klopp, and the boss said, "Oh, I think you caught him." It wasn't exactly how I wanted it, but I caught that easily.
Yeah.
So I said, "We'll give that to Lee for Christmas." So we gave it to him, and when he opened it, I had tears everywhere. He's put it in his bar at home.
Oh,
He's got a
fantastic.
bar at home, So
yeah, it is. There's
nice.
There is
Nice
something about that, isn't it? The effort that an artist, and I would say everyone's an artist, goes into making something, creating something, and then to give it to someone. Slightly more than a photograph, and then there's great photographs. I know there's an art in photography. I'm not demeaning photographers, but there's a lot of different things go into doing art, and you put a little bit more of yourself. I think that's Van Gogh is one of my favourites. You just see the mental health. That's it, 100%.
Yeah, what was going on?
I 100% believe that. It's like when you stand in front of them as well. You see them in the painting, that's one thing, but stand in front of one of those paintings and go, oh yeah.
He was certainly seeing things differently, wasn't he?
He was. It's that Aldous Huxley
Francis
thing.
Bacon may have a look at some of his work. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Out there, that bloke.
Yeah.
We were looking at, was it Lucian Freud?
Lucian Freud, they're all mates, but Bacon and Freud. Bacon and Freud table 3. And a black pudding if you don't make them extra.
Yeah, do you want red or brown sauce?
One was like one stroke meant 100 things.
Yeah, the other
Lucian
one
Freud
just-
was very particular. And
Which one of them used to only use one of them did, or was it Bacon that used to just use his paintbrushes once?
And throw them in the corner.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind being the person that cleaned up his art gallery, you know what I mean?
Well, they didn't. No one cleaned it up. It was just a huge pile.
Yeah.
At the end.
No, I think, didn't he have his nanny that used to live with him and look after him? Bacon.
He did in the end.
She probably cleaned up his paintbrushes.
But he didn't get on with his parents at all. And his gran looked after him, who was very wealthy, but she looked after him.
Have you done loads of
research on it all?
Isn't that interesting? So that's another sort of aspect of art. It's looking at the lives of artists.
Yeah, we love that. YouTube's brilliant for that.
Yeah.
Find out more about them.
Yeah, but how sad is it all?
Inspired them.
You think, oh, this bloke's a genius. Well, to himself, he cut his ear off and gave it to someone, didn't he, Van Gogh? And it was it a fella? I think he loved the fella.
No, I think it was. He had an argument.
Was it a woman? Was it?
He cut that bit off. People think he cut the lobe off. I'm feeling it now. It's going. Oh my God! One second, I'm feeling a little bit. He had an argument with Paul Cézanne.
Yeah.
And I think he used to like the absinthe, didn't he?
Yeah.
Absinthe makes the heart grow fonder. Wait a minute. I'm just going for a quick shave. I'll be back in a minute. I think it was a lady of the night, the female, a bit of that. But
didn't he have some sort of gunfight with somebody as well?
That's why they reckon he died. He got
shot,
shot by these two twins that used to
what I'm trying to say to everybody out there, you think that they're famous for, and some of their lives were absolutely tragic.
He sold 2, didn't he?
Yeah, and wow, but it's only the legacy that he's left that everybody can follow. So why don't you just try? For me, people don't think they're good enough, so they don't bother.
Yeah.
And really, you shouldn't do that. you should really start trying to enjoy yourself and express yourself
Absolutely.
in whatever way it is.
Absolutely. And that's
so
why
get yourself down here.
100%. And that's the whole thing about X Factor and all that sort of stuff. We do music at Can Do, and you get a lot of young people. We work with adults as well, but they'll say, "Oh no, I can't sing." I said, "No, I didn't say it." I said, "Do you like music?" I'll ask them, "Do you like music?" "Oh yeah." "No, I can't say." So, no, I'm asking you to go on X Factor. I'm saying, "Do you like it? Do you ever sing?" They go, "Yeah, but on my own." I said, "Yeah." Now, when you do that, it releases endorphins. Actually, makes you happier. Doesn't matter what you're singing, actually. So the process of singing and particularly sharing that collaboration is really healing. We have got a society where you have to sell it or buy it, and that's the bit where it's got, dare I say, bastardised. Can I say that in a?
Yeah.
Thank you both. Thank you for allowing me. I'll just put that out there because because it's been like, if you aren't good enough to sell it, or if you're not compete, if you can't win X Factor, don't do it. If you can't put it in a gallery, it's like, wow, where's the joy? Where's the love? Where's the actual healing? No, really, where is it? I'm asking you. You're not a doctor. That's it. That's it. It's true. It's the doing. Right, on that beautiful point, I'm going to invite everyone down here to see this as it goes on. Maya, thank you for everything. It's been lovely. I hope your tooth gets sorted out. Yeah, on the way to the dentist. We'll have a laugh. We'll probably take a few photographs as the day goes on and see what different state we are by the time this day's finished.
Well, we'll be right.
But congratulations. This is truly a beautiful thing you've done here. I can't thank you enough on behalf of Can Do. No,
It
seriously.
would have been happened if it wasn't for you, would it?
Well, all the team, eh?
Yeah.
The teamwork makes the dream work.
Fantastic.
Have you ever said that on your thing, Blackpool?
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Not
You
quite
lot, you're getting paid for this, now get on with it. You are a 14-year-old boy. 1 second, I've got to do this.
He's off.
You are a 14-year-old boy. You're a big lad. He's a very big lad. Let's get him in defence. Get him in defence. Or up front. Anyway, that's a wrap. Thank you, Maya. Thank you both. Congratulations. Absolute joy. Thank you.